Welcome to the deep dive. We're tackling a really fascinating request today. It's a story from Japanese horse racing, but it feels like it's about so much more than just, the results.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking at Sakura Chiyono O, specifically his huge win in the Tokyo Yushin, the Japanese Derby, and just the incredible context around it.
Right. And he picked up this title, didn't he? The last Derby winner of the Showa era.
Exactly. And that's kind of our mission here, to understand why that win was so loaded, the pressure, the heartbreak he was carrying.
It sounds almost mythic. All this weight from his famous father, this fresh grief from another stable star falling.
Yeah.
It all just comes together on one day in 1988.
It really does. It's a deep dive into how profound sorrow somehow got channeled into this single incredible record-breaking moment. It made him a sort of bridge between two big eras in Japan.
Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we start? I guess right at the beginning. The lineage, the expectations from the moment he was born.
That makes sense. So Sakura Chiyono O, born in 1985, straight into the famous Sakura racing colors.
And the breeding. It was top-notch, wasn't it? Especially the sire, Maruzensky.
Oh, absolutely. Maruzensky is a huge part of this whole narrative. People sometimes call him the best horse never to run in the Derby. Immensely talented, but just unlucky.
And the dam? Sakura's sedan?
She was solid, already produced good runners, so the female line was strong too. But really, the focus, the pressure, it came from Maruzensky's legacy, or maybe the lack of that one specific race on it.
And the name they gave him, Sakura Chiyono O. That wasn't subtle, was it?
Not at all. Naming him after Chiyono Fuji, the grand sumo champion. The Yokozuna.
Japan's 58th Yokozuna. I mean, for listeners maybe not familiar, Yokozuna is the absolute peak in sumo, right? It's about power, tradition.
Grace, and that unbreakable will. That's what they wanted. They were signaling this horse needs the spirit of a Yokozuna, someone who just embodies national pride and sheer tenacity.
And did he show it early on?
He did. He won his debut pretty smoothly, August 87, up at Hakodate. And then pretty quickly, he took his first big one, the Asahi High Sansai Stakes.
Ah, the Asahi High. That's a major 2-year-old race.
Huge. And what was fascinating there, it was this rare father-son achievement. Maruzensky had actually won the same race years before.
Okay, so that really cemented him as a top prospect for the classics.
You'd think so. But here's a twist. The competition was already heating up. Even with that big win, he wasn't named best 2-year-old colt.
Ooh.
Who got it?
Soccer Boy.
Soccer Boy. Okay, so right away, there's a rival.
Exactly. And the perception was sort of, well, Sakura Chiyono O was maybe tougher, more durable, but Soccer Boy had more brilliance, more flash.
Which sets up a great narrative for the classic season in '88, doesn't it? The determined grinder versus the flashy favorite.
Perfectly. So the spring campaign in 1988, it was a little messy to start.
How so?
He ran fourth in the Kyoto Sushin High. A bit of a stumble.
But he bounced back.
He did. Showed that grit, won the Yayo show next, and importantly, he beat Soccer Boy in that race. Head-to-head.
Okay, so redemption. Back on track for the Satsuki show, the first classic. Right back in the mix, but then another wobble. He finished third in the Satsuki show.
Third. Behind who?
Behind an outsider, Yano Muteki, who won it.
So, heading toward the Derby, after that third place, people must have been wondering, right? Had he peaked too soon? Was a 2-year-old form the best we'd see?
Exactly. That doubt started creeping in, and that uncertainty just before the biggest race. The Derby. Well, it just piled onto the already immense pressure he was under.
Which brings us to the heart of it, because the pressure wasn't just about form, was it? To really get this race, we need to understand what was going on inside the Sakura stable. Why was the '88 Derby so incredibly emotionally charged for them?
Yeah, this is crucial. There are these two massive layers of, let's call it historical debt, and also just raw, immediate tragedy. It made winning almost feel like a necessity.
Okay, layer one. You mentioned his sire, Maruzensky, earlier.
Right. The burden of the sire. Maruzensky, phenomenal horse, maybe the fastest of his time. But because of, well, frankly, outdated rules back then about imported bloodlines.
He couldn't run in the Derby.
He was ineligible, couldn't run. So despite all his wins, that massive gap, that Derby gap, was like this permanent scar for the stable, for his legacy.
Wow. So Sakura Chiyono O wasn't just running for himself. He was running for his father's ghost. Trying to win the prize his dad was denied even a shot at.
That's exactly it. A huge psychological weight,
Okay, that's massive. But you said 2 layers. What was the second, the immediate tragedy?
This one. This is tough.
Yeah.
Death of Sakura Staro.
Sakura Star. Another Sakura horse.
Yes, and a very popular one. A 2-time classic winner himself. but he'd suffered a really bad leg injury, career ending, and had been fighting for months.
And the timing. Don't tell me.
It was just brutal. Sakura O, he finally lost his battle. He passed away just 2 weeks before the 1988 Derby.
2 weeks. Oh, my God. The stable must have been reeling.
Completely plunged into mourning. I mean, imagine. You're prepping for the biggest race of the year, the Derby, and suddenly you're dealing with the loss of another champion, attending his funeral.
It changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That race. It stops being just a race.
It totally transformed. For the trainer, the owner, the whole team, it became this sacred duty. It felt like a funeral march turned into a revenge mission. They had to win it. For O, for Maruzensky.
That level of emotional pressure, it's usually crushing in sports, isn't it? How on earth did they manage to focus that grief, that history, into actually getting the horse ready to perform?
It seems they channeled it into this fierce, almost desperate determination. You read accounts, and it sounds like the tragedy just reinforced this idea. Sakura Chiyono O had to be the one. He had to embody the stable's collective will. The narrative felt pre-written, He had to deliver.
Okay, so let's go to the day itself. The Showa era's final derby. Tokyo Racecourse, 1988. Big crowd, huge intensity. He's facing Yaino Muteki, who beat him in the Satsuki show, and this other really dangerous horse, Majiro Ardon.
Yeah, and the setting itself adds another layer. Everyone knew Emperor Hirohito's reign, the Showa era, was nearing its end. So this wasn't just any derby, it was the last Showa derby.
Giving it even more symbolic weight.
The media, the fans, everyone felt it. This title meant something historically.
So the race itself, 2,400 meters, how did it play out?
Tactically, it was pretty much perfect from the jockey. He knew the horse had stamina but needed to save every bit of energy, so he settled Sakura Chiyono O beautifully.
We're in the pack.
Tucked in on the inside rail, not too far back, just sitting there saving ground, staying out of trouble through the early parts.
Smart ride in a big field. Keep him covered, wait for the straight.
Exactly. And as they swung into that long Tokyo home stretch, he made his move. Slid into the lead, looked like it might be straightforward.
But it never is in the Derby, is it?
Not this one. Suddenly, Majiro Ardon, who'd also saved ground on the inside, just exploded.
Oh, wow. A challenge from the rail.
A huge challenge. Ardon surged. And honestly, for a moment, maybe a stride or two, he actually poked his head in front, took the lead.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
After everything.
Yeah.
The stable must have thought, here we go again. Heartbreak.
You have to imagine that feeling, that agony returning. It looked like it was slipping away.
But the horse? The one named for the Yokozuna?
He wasn't having it. He just dug in, found something extra in those last grinding furlongs, fought back with this incredible determination.
Inch by inch?
Inch by painful inch, reclaimed the lead, refused to lose, and he hit the wire first. On the day it mattered most, he would not be denied.
And not just a win, right? He broke the record.
Set a new Derby record time, which just underlined the sheer intensity of that performance.
What a vindication. It all came together. Redemption for Maruzensky, a tribute to Sakura O, the title the stable desperately needed.
And the timing, the final Derby champion of the Showa era, it was just perfect. Almost too perfect.
A truly brilliant moment, closing a chapter. But the story doesn't quite end there on a high, does it? That perfect moment. It seems it cost him dearly.
It really did. The aftermath is, well, it's the tragic part of the legend. Very soon after that monumental Derby win, the diagnosis came. Tendinitis.
Oh, no. Not tendinitis. That's serious for a racehorse.
Devastating. Forced him out immediately. Needed a whole year off just trying to recover.
And the question everyone asks, was it the Derby effort itself? Did pushing that hard under that much pressure actually caused the injury? Did he literally leave it all on the track that day?
That's certainly the narrative that formed the sort of sad epitaph for his career. Because when he did finally come back after that long layoff,
Magic was gone.
It just wasn't there. He struggled. They tried him in big races, the Yasuda Kinen, the Takazuka Kinen, but he just couldn't find that top gear again. He wasn't competitive at that level anymore.
See, the fight. He'd been used up.
It seems so. The damage was done. And eventually, the tendon injury flared up again, and that was it. Career over. He reached the absolute summit, and his body just gave out right after.
So how do we remember him then? You hear fans call him like the Derby winner who burned out in the Derby.
Yeah.
A short, incredibly bright flash.
His racing career was brief, yeah. But he did go on to have a stud career. Not, a world beater sire, but respectable. He left a mark.
Any notable offspring?
Yeah, a few solid ones. Sakura O was probably the best. He ran second in the Satsuki show, actually, to the superstar Narita Bryan. Then there was My Turn, a decent grade 2 winner on dirt, and Sakura Expert won a grade 3. So, he passed on some ability.
And he lived a long life afterward.
He did. Passed away in 2012, lived to be 27, which is a good age for a thoroughbred.
But ultimately, his legacy isn't really about the stud career, is it? It's locked into that one single day in May 1988.
Absolutely. He's remembered as that bridge between eras, the horse who took all that history, all that grief, and somehow turned it into strength when it mattered most. He delivered for the Sakura stable when, really, their entire morale seemed to depend on it.
It's an incredible story. Sakura Chiyono O. It really shows how much racing can be about heart and timing, and just the sheer weight of legacy. He really did stand tall in one of Japanese racing's most emotional moments, that final Showa victory.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.